Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back for our Week 10 NFL picks. I am joined this week by Tony Barbosa and Jose Carlos Gomes. Very happy to have both of them back. Uh, and this is going to be a good week. I kept my promise. I said I was going to quit the show if I did not get better with my picks. Well, that time has come as I went to 11-3 last week after a 13-3 week the week before. Jose was in at 8-6, Gil at 8-6, and Barbosa at 7-7, who tried to take advantage of some opposite picks, and it kind of didn't work out and kind of did work out. So we'll see what happens there. Gil Santos is at the Leaf game today, drinking a lot. So hopefully he'll be back next week. The overall records are as follows. Jose still solid at 94-42. Gil at 85-53, Barbosa at 83-53, and myself at 78-58. A long way back, but looking to improve. Guys, you ready? How are you guys doing? You guys ready to go?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with the ugly
Let's get
Thursday
that Thursday
nighter.
nighter.
Yeah, let's start with the ugly Thursday nighter. Jose and I had a lot of fun talking about ugly bowls last week. Well, let's start with an ugly bowl as the Carolina Panthers take on the Chicago Bears. Bryce Young against Tyson Badgie. I'm still not saying his name right. This is an ugly game. There's not really much analysis here. It's your best guess. Flip a coin. Barbosa, who do you got?
I'm going Carolina. They've shown the last couple of weeks that they're on the rising. They're on the rise. They got pieces, so I think I'm gonna go with Carolina.
Jose?
I'm taking Chicago. They played well last week against the Saints team. They had a couple turnovers late in the game. Carolina just I think all he did was throw freaking pick sixes against Indy. They look pretty good offensively. They're supposed to get Herbert back this week too, so I'm taking Chicago.
I am taking the Bears. Herbert's back. Foreman has been a great second option. Carolina has the worst rushing defense in the NFL in the last 3 weeks. That spells trouble for the Bears. And I actually like what I've seen from Tyson in Chicago. So I've got the Bears winning this one. Gil also has the Chicago Bears in this one. Now we get to our next ugly bowl. Barbosa, I apologize in advance, but why they're sending these two teams to Germany, I will never understand. The Indianapolis Colts with Minshew Magic takes his show on the road to Germany to take on the equally inept and horrific New England Patriots with Mac Jones, who still leads the league in scoring more points for the other team. Barbosa, who do you got?
Colts.
Jose?
Both shit teams. Well, Indy's been playing well. Patriots offensively, there's good games, bad games. I think I'm gonna go with the Colts in this one. I think the run game will save them with Taylor, and they'll make a couple of stops, and Indy will win the game. I'm taking Indy.
The Colts still have an outside chance at a playoff spot. There are a bunch of teams at 4-4, 4-5, and 5-4. So having said that, with New England looking to be just a horrendously tanking team now, they found a way to lose to the freaking Commanders at home last week. I had the Commanders because New England just stinks. So I got Indy in this one. They just have more talent, and I see them winning this game. So I got Indy. Gil, however, likes the Pats. Speaking of ugly bowls, the Green Bay Packers, who found a way to beat Brett Rippon last week. Congratulations, 17-3. You get the golf clap. They go to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, who still only have a defense. Having said that, I prefer defense to a horrific offense. I have the Steelers at home. Barbosa.
Steelers. I'm gonna take the Steelers at home too.
I mean, that division is just unbelievable. It's the best. I said before the season, it's the best division in football. And boy, oh boy, is it proving it. I think every team has a chance to win that division. They're all decent teams in their own way. Baltimore can't get away from
Baltimore.
anybody. No, they can't get. I mean, they're great, but they can't.
Baltimore is winning. They keep winning.
They can't. They can't run away with it. And they've got some tough games coming up against division opponents. Jose, who do you got?
I got Pittsburgh. Their defense will smother that offense, and Love will just throw a couple more picks to add to his collection. So I'll take Pittsburgh in this one.
I have the Steelers. I like their defense at home. Love has been terrible playing good defenses, especially on the road. I got the Steelers. And in the shocker of the year, Gil Santos is taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember that for next week, people.
Wow.
The shocker of the week.
Oh my God.
Gil has given up on the
believe-
love. He's lost his love.
Lost the love.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to check on him after to check how he's doing because, that's an emotional pick, I'm sure, by Gil. Well, the ugly bowls continue as the New Orleans Saints, who have recently been very good, thanks to Taysom Hill, who has ignited their red zone offense. They go to Minnesota to take on the revitalized Vikings, who got Josh Dobbs in there. The one thing I feared about taking Atlanta last week is if Josh Dobbs entered the game. Sure enough, the 7th round pick or whoever got hurt, and they put Dobbs in the game, and he won it for Minnesota. You would think this is an easy game, but it's not. Minnesota's won 4 in a row. Saints are on a roll. Barbosa, who do you got?
Ooh, it's gonna be it's a tough game to pick. Just because it is a tough game to pick, and it seemed like Josh Dobbs fit in nicely, I'm gonna take Minnesota. They're at home, so I'm gonna take Mini.
Jose, I think I know who you're taking because you've talked about this team in length, about them being a scary team to end the season. Who do you got?
I'm taking the Saints, man.
Yep.
I like the way they're rolling right now. They're playing defense, they're playing offense. Tyson Hill's a good weapon to have. And they're using them to his full capacity. So I just don't trust Minnesota. They won against the Falcons. Dobbs came in, he didn't even know the playbook. He was just running for his life. I don't see him doing that this week. Maybe they'll get Jefferson back. Supposedly he's supposed to come back off of the injured list, or maybe he's questionable for the return. But I don't think that's gonna. I think he still needs to learn how to do the playbook and stuff like that. But in saying that, I'm taking New Orleans.
Yeah, I like the Saints in this one. I really like what I'm seeing from the red zone offense. When they get in there, they're scoring on every possession. I think the Cinderella story for the Vikings ends this week against the Saints. I got the Saints in this one. And Gil Santos agrees he has the Saints as well. Now we get to a much more interesting game as the Houston Texans and the red hot CJ Stroud, who pulled a Cam Newton last week and threw for 470, goes to Cincinnati to take on the equally red hot Bengals, as me and Barbosa are smiling with our MVP pick, as Joe Cool looks like the Deuce and Domino from the WWE in his interviews lately, and it's just rolling. He still has an outside chance at that MVP. We'll see if he can beat Lamar in that game towards the end of the year. Maybe he's got a shot. Houston at Cincinnati, not an easy game, but who do you got, Barbosa?
I'm gonna take Cincy. Now that they're clicking, and a healthy Joe Burrow is a scary Joe Burrow for the rest of the league. So, and plus Cincy's at home, so I'm gonna take Cincy.
Jose?
I'm gonna take Cincy, but this is gonna be a close game, man.
Absolutely.
I think Houston.
I agree.
Houston
I don't
with
think it's gonna be an easy game.
He's balling out, man, for a rookie. Throwing 5 touchdowns, almost 500 yards. That's impressive, man. Not a lot of the good, amazing quarterbacks like Peyton Manning's and stuff like that never did that before. So so I'm saying that Cincinnati's playing crazy football right now. Their defense is clicking, and their offense is clicking. A little last week they struggled against a good Buffalo defense, but they still moved the ball. They were rushing. They were throwing the ball. I think since he's gonna take this one, I think since he's rolling, and you can see that Burrow is healthy, and you can see him moving in the pocket and stuff like that. So makes that team really dangerous right now.
I think this is going to be a great quarterback battle. I think we're going to see a high scoring game and a battle between the two QBs. I like Cincinnati, but I'll take that 7.5 all day if for Houston to cover the spread. Cincy, when they win games close. They don't typically blow teams out. So I'll take Cincy, but I like the points for the bettors out there. Gil also has the Bengals in this one. Now we go to a game that's a lot more interesting than people think. The Cleveland Browns, who have Deshaun Watson back and still have the best defense in the NFL and have a three-headed monster at running back, go to Baltimore to take on the equally red-hot Ravens, who have the second best defense in the NFL. We're going to see a low-scoring battle of these two teams. I'll tell you what, +6 is too many points for me in this one as well. Having said that, I like the Ravens at home. Barbosa.
This is a tough game.
Too many points for a division game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, way too many points. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Wow.
I think they'll find a way to stop Lamar. I think they're gonna find a way to stop Lamar. And for that reason, I think they'll find a way to stop Lamar. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Jose.
I think this game is gonna be a low scoring game, but at the end of the game, I see Baltimore winning this one. I just think their defense right now is playing probably the best defense in the league. They shut down Geno Smith last week. They did the same thing to the Lions. Well, I think they have a better offense than Cleveland. Cleveland depends a lot on their defense too, but I don't think their offense. Last week they put up 20 points or 30 something points against Arizona, but if you see the game, like it was like fluke touchdowns, like when it would go out deflection to Amari Cooper and stuff like that. So I just think Cleveland is due for a loss, and it's going to come against Baltimore. So I'm taking Baltimore.
Gil, as you can imagine, has the Ravens, and he's had them all year. So I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Now we go to another interesting game between a team with a new lease on life, Barbosa. Barbosa called this, as did I. I was a little bit off on the weeks. But Tennessee finally said, you know what? Ryan Tannehill's healthy, but we're going with the kid, Will Levis. Congratulations, Mike Vrabel. You finally got a brain in your head and go away from Mr. Turnover Machine Tannehill over there. So the kid, Levis, has the job for the rest of the year. He goes to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, who somehow found a way to lose a game where Baker Mayfield scored 37 points. Jose, who do you got?
I'm going to take Tennessee. I think Tennessee, they should have won that game against Pittsburgh last week. I think defensively they'll shut down that Bucks offense, and Levis will throw for a couple deep touchdowns to D-Hop, and I see Tennessee winning the game.
Barbosa.
I'm gonna go with Tampa. They got to keep up with New Orleans in that division. So I'm gonna take Tampa. Baker's been playing well. Yeah, and I think the Buccaneers defense will find a way to stop Levis. So I'm gonna take the Bucks. Plus they're at home. So
I agree with Jose here. I think that Tampa Bay's defense is not good. Tennessee, with a quarterback that can actually throw the football down the field, means Derrick Henry becomes the best running back in the league again. I got Tennessee. Gil also has the Titans in this one. Now we go to the game of the week, the game that makes me the most nervous, and the game that I have deliberated all day long in picking. And that's the San Francisco 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have won 5 straight coming off a bye. The 49ers have lost 3 straight coming off a bye. a must win for the 49ers, and maybe not so much for the Jags. But this is one of the toughest games I've ever had to pick in my life. I'm a big fan of the Jaguars. I think they're a great team, but boy, are the 49ers desperate, and they just got Chase Young on the team. This is such a tough game. I'm not going to pick it yet. Barbosa, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Niners. I think this will be a big game. I think this is a game that the defense is gonna finally, I think, show why they should be one of the best defenses in the league. And I think this is a bounce back game for Brock Purdy. So I'm gonna take the Niners.
Jose, I will not be upset either way. This is a tough game. I won't blame you
Nah,
for who you take in this one.
listen, this is gonna be a 49er beatdown like they did to Pittsburgh. I'm telling you right now, this game is gonna be a statement game. That defense is gonna ball out this week. I feel sorry for Trevor Lawrence with Nick Bosa coming one way, with Chase Young coming the other way. But you're in trouble. And I'll tell you right now, that offense, we get Debo back, Trent Williams back. You're gonna see the difference on the offense with Debo Samuel there. I'm saying 49ers in a romp. I'm saying it right now. And just for off the record over here, I have a big bet with Fabio. So if the Niners win, he has to buy his daughter a brand new car. And
Oh my God.
And if Jacksonville wins, we gotta go when we go to Buffalo to go watch a Buffalo game. I have to pay his stay there, so it's a big game.
Wow,
It's a
what
big
a
game.
bet.
So
I listen. This is a huge game. This is a huge game for the 49ers. They have to win this game. And with their full complement of players coming off a bye, and with that pass rush, I've watched Jacksonville in their 5-game win streak. It has not been that impressive. The Buffalo game, yes, but Trevor Lawrence has struggled throwing the football in each of these games. It's been more the Travis Etienne show than anything else. Trevor Lawrence has not been that good during this streak. I think the 49ers are going to attack him and they're going to get to him. And then Brock Purdy with his weapons back will be Brock Purdy again. I got the 49ers winning this game and getting back to what they were before the 3-game losing streak, and that's Super Bowl favorites. Gil, however, is staying on the gravy train and has the Jaguars in this one. Now we go to,
I kind of figured that.
Yeah, of course.
I kind of figured that. He's just a hater, but it's all good.
Yeah. This is a game that the 49ers have to win. They've got to try to keep pace with at least the Cowboys, if not the Eagles are probably too far away. But we do play the Eagles later in the year, so if they can get this one,
and the Eagles
have a tough schedule.
Cowboys,
oh yeah, they got a tough schedule.
It's not going to be easy, man. It's not going to be easy.
So this is a very important game for the 49ers. So that's the pick for that game. Now we go to a very interesting game between the Detroit Lions and the LA Chargers. Now, the Detroit Lions have been good all year. Outside of the Baltimore game where they got absolutely destroyed prior to a bye week, they've been good. The team that hasn't been good, and the guy that I've talked about 2 weeks ago, continues to not be impressive. Justin Herbert, since we did that video, has been awful. He had one game against the Bears where he was good, but he was horrific against the Jets on Monday night. Don't pay attention to the score, people. They won the game 27-6, but Justin Herbert was horrific in that game.
The Jets got a good defense, so you can't.
No, but he has not been impressive this year. Justin Herbert.
No, he hasn't. But he's got his games already. But like, dude, he plays against a good defense. It's not easy to put up numbers against that Jets defense. Sorry.
Yeah, but when you're 13 of 27, like that's really bad. Like it just wasn't good. They got some special teams help, and Zach Wilson, who we're going to talk about later. I'm going to ask the question later. He might be the worst number 2 pick in the history of the NFL, but I'll ask that question later. Detroit
No, he won't.
Okay,
be.
I'll ask it when we get to the Jets game. Detroit at Chargers, tough game. Not an easy game to pick. Chargers defense looked to wake up a little bit last week with the pass rush. So Barbosa, what do you got?
Lions. I've been impressed with the Lions all year, so I'm gonna go with the Lions. They just run the ball. effectively. I know Jared Goff for the last couple weeks has been a little bit back to earth, but I think you'll pick it up this game. And the defense is good. That's a solid defense. It's probably a top 10 defense in the league. So Lions.
Jose.
Yeah, I think the Lions are more of a complete team than LA right now. LA struggling offensively. They don't know. They don't have an identity yet. Mike Williams is a big loss for them because Mike Williams takes the pressure off of Keenan Allen and stuff like that, and then he can opens up also the run game for Eckler. You can see the difference now. Everybody's just double teaming Keenan Allen, and they're
Yeah.
leaving. They're leaving their second wide receivers, which is I don't even know who's their second wide receiver. That's how much they're known for, right? So, yeah, and Detroit's got a better defense. I think they'll make a couple extra stops. Detroit's coming off a bye week as well. They're healthy. They got a good running game. So I'm taking Detroit.
I'm going to take the upset here. I think the Chargers need this game more. They're 4-4, I believe, right now, the Chargers.
Yeah.
And as I said, the teams that are all bunched up at 4-4 and 4-5, I think they're really going to have to play more. I guess what I'm saying is they need the games more than the teams that are 6-2. And the Chargers have to win this game if they're going to be a playoff team. So I'm going to go on a hunch here and take the Chargers to win this game. I don't have any faith or confidence in them winning this game, but just looking at the desperation part of it, I think that the Chargers need this game more. Detroit's game against Baltimore really scared me. So I want to see them recover from that first before I get all happy about them. So I'll go with the Chargers as for an upset here because I think Detroit's the favorite by 3. Gil also sticking with the Chargers in this one. Yeah, he likes the Chargers, Gil. I'm surprised. He's picked them a lot this year. Now we go to an ugly bowl as the Atlanta Falcons, who continue to just find ways to lose games. They go to Arizona to take on Kyler Murray, who's returning, and possibly James Conner and the Cardinals. The returns alone have me taking the Cardinals in this one. Barbosa, what do you got?
Same reason why I'm taking the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's back. I think it'll be a big boost. And he's going to be playing either to stay in Arizona or to find a new home for him. So he's going to be balling out. So I'm going to take Arizona. And plus Atlanta, like you said, finds a way to lose games. So
Jose.
I'm gonna take Atlanta. And I'm gonna take Atlanta based on the man hasn't played for football for like almost 1 year. So the man's gonna be rusty. He's not gonna be like the old Kyle Murray and stuff like that. He's gonna be rusty. He's gonna make mistakes. You see that even when quarterbacks don't play preseason the first week, they struggle when they're coming off injuries or whatever stuff. So based on that, I think like they moved the ball well with Heineke back there. They're moving the ball well. I think they'll run the ball a little bit more this week against that weak run defense from Arizona. So I'm taking Atlanta in this one.
Gil has the Cardinals as well in this one. God, this game's ugly. The Washington Commanders, who somehow are 4-4 or 4-5 on the year, take on the Seabags, who could not have looked any worse last week. They're at 5-4. Geno Smith looks like he's turning back into Geno Smith. And I got to give credit to the Commanders. They're finding a way to get Sam Howell to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The guy's got 2,400 yards passing. I mean, Eric Bieniemy, go get him a head coaching job, man. He's doing a great job with that offense. Washington at Seattle. Tough game. Barbosa, what do you got?
can I pick neither?
I wish.
I'm gonna go with Seattle because they're at home, and I have a feeling, and the Commanders are looking to. I think they're looking to tank, to tell you the honest truth, trading away a couple of their pieces on the defensive end, on the defensive ball. So, yeah, for that, I'm gonna take Seattle.
So basically, what you're telling me is the worst tanking team is New England because Washington beat them.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Jose.
It's a tough game to pick, man. Washington offensively, they can move the ball. Seattle is coming off a big loss. I'm gonna take Seattle. I think they're gonna just to bounce back, and they're in that NFC championship. They're in the NFC West, still to finish first place in the race. I think this game means more to them than it does to Washington. So I'm gonna take Seattle to bounce back after the beating against Baltimore.
Seattle has not been impressive at all. They've won 2 games at home. They probably didn't deserve to win against Arizona and Washington. Then they got blown out by the Ravens. Having said that, because Washington's pass defense is awful and they just traded Chase Young. I think Geno rebounds and gets the ball to Lockett and Metcalf and Jason Nigma, and they find a way to win this game over Washington and keep their playoff hopes alive, and make the 49ers work for it, which is fine by me. I like that. I'm not going to waste even a minute on this game.
Gil,
Giants.
what's Gil's pick?
Oh,
Gil's
Gil has the sea bags. Sorry, Gil has the sea bags as well. Guys, in under a minute, Giants at Cowboys. Go.
Oh, Cowboys are gonna romp.
All right. Tony Barbosa, can you guess who Gil has?
Tommy's picking the Giants.
Okay. Okay, I'm just checking. I'm checking it. Okay. We all have Dallas. The last time they played, the Dallas won in New York 40-0. That's all I have.
Yeah,
for you.
when Danny DeVito is your quarterback, you're not going anywhere.
With a minus 9 yards, he finished the game with minus
9 yards. Like, man, the spread is 16.5, guys, and I would not say to take a 16.5 point spread, but not only is the Dallas pick on bad teams, they love beating up the Giants, and they got Danny DeVito as the quarterback. Like, they've got Jones is out again with a torn ACL, having one of the worst contracts of his years of his life. Yeah, this is gonna be a beatdown. We all got Dallas in this one. Now to the Jets. They go to take on the revitalized Vegas Raiders, who got rid of their coach, GM, and quarterback in one of the best firings I've ever seen in my life. Before we pick this game, I'll ask Barbosa and Jose, is Zach Wilson the worst number 2 pick of all time? Because he's pretty close.
No.
Who is it?
No. Ryan Leaf is the worst number 2 pick of all time.
Is Wilson better than Leaf? That's a good question. Jose, that's a tough one.
I think Ryan Leaf had better stats than freaking Zach Wilson did.
Yeah, so do I.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
And he had a shittier San Diego team than this guy has in the Jets. And I'll tell you right now that if it isn't for that defense, that this team would be 0 and whatever,
100%.
Whatever, okay?
Absolutely.
So in that saying, that was a nice game last week for the Raiders. But I still think that was just the one win for the coach and stuff like that, just to hype them up. I think this week, I think the Jets need this game. The Jets need to win this game, so I'm gonna take the Jets this week. I think the Jets pull off a squeaker, like a field goal win at the last minute.
So the Jets are 4-5. Is that correct?
4-5 or 5-4.
They don't have.
Jets are 4-4.
So the Jets are 4-4. Barbosa, if I give you a guess as to what the Vegas Raiders record is, what do you think it would be?
The biggest Raiders record?
Yeah.
As far as what?
What's their record this year? If I give you a guess,
it's 4-5.
They're 4-5. I never, when I looked at that earlier today, I'm like, they're 4-5. So they're actually in the same position that the Jets are. I got the Raiders. So Barbosa, go ahead.
I'm gonna pick the Jets. It's like Jose. I had the same thing what Jose said. I think that was a win. It was a nice win for their new coach. They were celebrating with cigars after the game. I don't know if they were celebrating the firing of Josh McDaniels or the win.
They were.
So I think they're going to be a little bit too overconfident, and that Jets defense they're gonna be pissed off from the Monday Nighter. So I'm gonna have the Jets.
Barbosa, I'm not gonna take Zach Wilson ever again I'm just not gonna do it. I got the Raiders.
The
I can't
Raiders
do it.
last week, but a Giants team that's hobbled with
Yeah.
injuries.
I
Like
understand.
it's not like they've been playing crazy football all year. The
No,
games that
I
the
understand. I understand.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like
I
the
do.
games
Yeah.
that the Vegas has won this year, they're all been against shitty teams. Like
Yeah.
they bet
Yeah.
the Broncos. I don't even know who else did they beat. I don't even know, man. Honestly, like
They beat Denver. They beat the Bears.
yeah, it's not like they beat. They
Green
should
Bay.
they won the games that they should have won against weaker opponents. When they played a good team, a good defensive team, they lost. I think they have the weapons to shut them down offensively. I don't think O'Donnell's gonna do anything special this week. Like I just that's what my
What's
opinion.
Wilson gonna do? What's Wilson gonna do?
But
That's
listen, Wilson doesn't like all Wilson needs to do is manage the game. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to.
Don't throw.
That's all he needs to do. Like you don't need to.
Don't turn the ball.
Don't turn the ball over. If
That's
that
it.
team is like they can run the football, they have the defense to keep them in the game, and like just manage the game. Like that's all you have
And,
to do. And the problem is when he throws those like picks, that kills the momentum of the team. That's the problem with him. Like
um.
and and
I'm
I'm
I'm gonna.
sure,
Yeah.
and I'm sure, and I'm sure, uh, Aaron Rodgers is telling him, "Hey, buddy, hey, smarten up, because in a couple of weeks I'll be back. So you better not
he's not
put
coming
this
back.
team
No, he's
But he's
not
on.
coming back.
coming
He's
back.
only if he comes back, it's only gonna be like late December, early
He's
January
coming
for
back.
playoffs. Yeah, he's coming back
No,
if they make the playoffs. That's what.
Rogers will not be back till next year. I think that's all a bunch of
Okay.
Rogers just acting like an idiot and trying to say he's going to come back when everyone knows he's not going to come back. What I will say is I got to question Robert Saleh here because having this guy throw 49 times when you have Brees Hall is idiotic. So I've got to look at Robert Saleh and say there's something wrong with you if this guy's throwing the ball 49 times. I like what I saw from Jacobs last week. I expect him to run the ball a lot, and I think that will help Vegas win this game. Finally, we go to Monday night. The surprising Denver Broncos, who beat up the Kansas City Chiefs before the bye, go to take on the struggling Buffalo Bills. As much as I'd like to take Denver in this game, the Bills, this is a must win. The Bills have to win this game. I got the Bills. Barbosa.
If you were to ask me this question 3 weeks ago, definitely my definite answer would be Buffalo.
Yeah.
But the way the Bills are struggling, and all of a sudden the Broncos are finding ways to win games.
If Buffalo's not careful, Denver could upset them. They better be very
Yeah,
careful.
yeah, but because Buffalo's at home, and I have a feeling they're gonna be pretty pissed off. Um, I'm gonna take Buffalo. I'm gonna take Buffalo.
In a week of big spreads, this is another one I like the dog. Jose?
Buffalo needs this game to bounce back from these losses that they had. I think they're gonna win this game. I think that game against Denver, like you can see that they won against KC. Mahomes wasn't 100%. He wasn't healthy and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So they took advantage of that. I think Buffalo in this game. I think Denver will cover, but Buffalo's gonna. They need it. They need to win this game, or else they're
Yeah.
not making the playoffs. I think if they lose this game, they're not making playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's a must win, and they're playing at home, and Buffalo's really good at home. So I'm taking Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo is only 5-4, and if the playoffs started today, they're the ninth seed. They'd be out of the playoffs. They have to win this game. There's a big log jam at that spot. You can't fall too far back, and because the Dolphins are 6-3 and can't beat good teams, they still have a chance at the division.
yeah.
Gil has Vegas in case I didn't mention it, and he also has the Bills in this one. So those are our picks for the week. Some tricky games, some interesting games, and some good games to watch, and some shit bowls, but tough games, getting tougher and tougher to pick. But those are our thoughts on the week. So the NFL continues to be unpredictable. But Jose's having a great year. I'm rebounding. And Tony Barbosa for the first year, not bad. Not bad at all. Gil's somewhere drinking, and we wish him the best of luck. I'll have to ask him about his Steelers pick on next week's show, so I got to make sure he's back for next week because he's lost he's given up on
He's
love
lost
already.
the love.
So he's lost the love.
The
So
love in Green Bay. He's lost the love in Green Bay.
so
Oh my God.
we will ask him about that pick next week. But until then, I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese. That's Tony Barbosa and Jose Carlos Gomes. We'll see you next week on the Reese Report.